We are in Miami for basically the biggest regular season game you can come up with, as it is deep in the season, and us and the Miami Heat are battling for playoff positioning. And you probably already remember this from the last video, but I'm going to act like you don't know, and I'm going to build up suspense for how close we are in the standings. We are currently a half game behind the Miami Heat. So this is basically the battle for the third seed, which seems like a pretty big deal. Although with Philadelphia lingering under there, maybe you'd want to avoid Philadelphia, so maybe you'd actually want the lower seed. I don't know. I'm doing my damnedest to ruin the suspense of this game. It's a big deal nonetheless, right? We're in the third quarter. We're down 1 point. Andrew Harrison in the game for the Heat. I'm interested to see where his career as an NBA player goes. We're already losing the rebounding battle. Luckily, we grabbed just one too many rebounds for Miami. But, rebounding will kind of be a big deal as this game goes along. But anyway, we're running for some offense for Porzingis. Makes sense. Best player. Whiteside does a good job of stepping up on him. I nearly throw the ball out of bounds. So this is already starting off beautifully. But an interesting little thing there, as Whiteside chose not to step out that time and defend Porzingis on the pick and pop. Remember that for something that I try later in this game. Anyway, they get us back the other end, and now we have a tie game. And the sliders that I used in this were perhaps the sliders that I've been trying to get to for basically this entire series, because this felt like a defensive game. It felt like the CPU was actually playing good defense against me. They were doing a good job of getting around screens and playing one-on-one and all that good stuff. And even then, for me as well as the CPU, but more so for me, even when I would get a good shot, it wasn't like an automatic that it was going to go in, which of course is the case in real life. Like if you play basketball, everybody misses open shots. It's just the way it goes, you know? Now, as I say that, we get a green release with Terrence Ferguson, but take my word for it, a decent amount of missed shots, and I think for the game in total, us and the Heat shot like below 45% from the field, which is what I want. Like, when the game is constantly just make after make after make, which it is at the moment, so I'm kind of full of crap, but just give me a second here. I mean, that's what I want, you know? I don't want just a million makes all the time, because that's not how basketball really is, unless you got the Warriors against the Rockets and no one's playing defense. Ferguson misses there. Of course, he is now a member of the starting lineup, and I think that has fueled us winning quite a few games lately. That shot, no good from Tyler Johnson. I'm sure he's content, though, because he's making like $20 million a season. He's a good player, but even then, Miami's probably regretting that one a little bit. I tried to do one too many dribble moves with Terrence Ferguson, and that's all Justice Winslow needed to strip it away. He has not found himself a place in the rotation for Miami like that this season. Josh Richardson's actually been playing over him. That was a terrible pass by Harrison. If he does that in real life, then he definitely won't have a place in the NBA. I had Norman Powell open right there, but I didn't get it to him because I thought Neto would have a better chance, or I just missed Powell, let's be honest here. So we saw some missed shots there, which is what I was talking about earlier. An interesting possession right here. Missed the three with Hardaway. Kenneth Faried grabs the offensive rebound. This is the power of the offensive board. You'll notice the lineup in here now. Kenneth Faried with Kyle O'Quinn. Take another shot with Hardaway. I'm okay with that one. O'Quinn grabs the rebound. We've now had 2 extra possessions just from these 2 big guys. And eventually, Hardaway gets the bucket. That's why we acquired Kenneth Faried, you know? Jeremy Grant wasn't doing it for us as that perimeter player. So, screw it. Just beef up in the middle towards the basket and create some extra possessions. And the thing is, with these two, like, even though Faried and O'Quinn, neither one of them are like really great perimeter defenders, if you just have 2 big dudes, there's typically not that much spacing around the basket anyway for the opposing team, so you can still be okay on defense. And Kenneth Faried is now my favorite player. Remember for the Nuggets series where I prolonged trading him for like a million episodes? Here I'm just full on embracing Kenneth Faried. I'm just like, listen, man, do your thing for 20 minutes a night, grab me some rebounds, and, well, they're not in the game now, actually. Or I call timeout, and then I take those 2 out, and I put Porzingis and DeAndre Ayton in the game because Ayton and Porzingis is still better than Farid and O'Quinn, even if Farid and O'Quinn can do some interesting things for us. So remember when I mentioned Whiteside was, I don't know, playing weird defense on Porzingis? I guess that was what I was thinking when I went with that isolation right there. Spacing wasn't very good. I should have done something else. Waiters Island was closed on that one. And I don't remember what the hell I do on this play. Can this Tyler dude defend Porzingis in the post? I don't know, but I'd rather go with a pick and roll instead. Some triangle offense for us. I'm pretty sure I have it set to 5 out, but I guess that's kind of the default thing that you would do on the strong side with a 2-man pick and roll anyway, I guess. But you'll notice Miami played good defense, which is what I want. I want the possessions where I can't do anything, you know? Because then it forces me to really think about what I want to do. It forces me to make counters, which is how basketball should be played, of course. I don't want it to just be a layup line against the CPU, you know what I mean? Anyway, this Tyler dude, Tyler Lydon, does a good job sliding back over to Porzingis. And now, Dion gets to the free throw line. When we already have a 2-point deficit, I gotta get creative. We're not generating enough offense. I'm putting Porzingis at center. I'm putting Raul Neto at point guard. Moving Ntilikina to the shooting guard spot. We're going Ferguson at small ball 4. This is our best shooting lineup. Everyone can shoot. We have 3 ball handlers in the game now. And of course, Porzingis at center. It does a couple things. Number one, of course, you know, all the ball handling. But it also puts Porzingis on Whiteside, so I can kind of attack that. Now, we have no offensive rebounding with this lineup, so we better make the shots that we're going to get out of this thing. Well, that's about as good of a shot as I can draw up. Porzingis wide open for 3. So, if they... What the hell was that? Okay, I'll take the ball back, I guess. Anyway, Hardaway, Porzingis this time... Well, okay, that's the layup line I was thinking of, or talking about. You know what I might do in the future if I go with this lineup? I might actually go into the CPU's defensive settings and tell them to switch pick and rolls. Because that's kind of what you would do against a lineup like this one, right? So another way to make it difficult for myself, I guess. 30 seconds left. 1-point game. Porzingis at center. Like, you see what I mean again, you know? If they switch that, at least they give themselves more of a chance than just doing nothing. So... the CPU is still not really where I would like them to be, but it was definitely better in this one. So I guess in the postseason, if I go into the CPU's defensive settings every now and then, and have them defend us the way that I would have us defend us, if that makes sense, then there you go. We don't play defense, though, because I made a horrible decision to not put any more defense in the game on that possession. I should have... You know what I should have done? I should have went with the defensive lineup, put Ayton out there, put Porzingis back at the 4, put Powell in, all that stuff. And then if they would have scored, I could have called timeout. But anyway, I didn't. And also, what the hell was that? That was a horrible decision on my part. I am doing everything in my power for us to lose this game. You know, I was doing well with the Porzingis at center thing. I throw that pass, I don't put a defensive lineup in the game. And now we're losing. Well, this isn't good. Not good at all. See, if this happened in real life and I was on Twitter watching this, I would have been giving the coach crap. So I gotta give myself crap on this one. We've been in this situation before. Porzingis, the turnaround jumper, and you gotta be freaking kidding me. Are we about to win another game in this series that we probably shouldn't have won? We already had one against Philadelphia. Now we're gonna have this one as well. I mean, we gotta look at the clock. It seems like it's good, and that is good. The battle for the 3rd seed results in us stealing a game in Miami that we shouldn't have stole. We should have lost this game, okay? I did everything I could to lose this thing. Maybe you can look at that bad pass as karma for the Heat throwing a really bad pass at the end. I don't know. Anyway, we don't win 50 games, so that's cool. Karl Anthony Towns is finally realizing his potential. Zion... We're that far into this thing now to where Zion's in the NBA? Hey, shout out to Willie Hernangomez. We traded him, and now he's 6th man of the year for the Grizz. Who do we have in round 1? We have a very interesting matchup. And that matchup would be the Philadelphia 76ers, if you see it on the right-hand side there. That should be pretty interesting. A lot of matchups to go through in that one. We dare Ben Simmons to shoot. Porzingis versus Embiid. That could be a really interesting one, and a tough one, because they have a million guys who are an 80 overall. Look at that.